Right guys, what's going on, and welcome back to the Bristol Prepper channel. So today guys, a real quick one. We're out in the woods, we've got a nice little fire going. I want to discuss something with you. So as you saw from the title of the video, it's how good is a utility blade knife in an SHTF. And what I mean here is like the standard Stanley blade, as you can see there. Stanley utility knife blade, you know what I mean. And I've made a handle for it. As you can see, this used to be a door stop, and then gaffer tapes around the blade, and then a nice little cable tie just to pull everything nice and tight. I've made this because I want to see how good are these in an SHTF. So just lots and lots of survival kits, including my own that I'm building at the moment, which you guys will be available for you guys in the near future to purchase. Mine are almost ready. All of them, lots of them, carry utility blades in them. Instead of knives, you know, instead of having a shitty folding knife that's made out of horrible steel and cannot hold an edge and fall apart and all those different problems we get with cheap folding blades, they've got to be cheap. If the kit's a tenner or £15 and then there's a folding knife in there, the folding knife is not going to be worth any more than £2, is it, realistically? So it's going to be a piece of shit. So lots of kits nowadays have these in there, which is the like I said, utility knife blades. So I wondered, how good are they? I want to show you guys. So I've fashioned myself a handle, which is not hard. You can do this from all your kits. This doesn't have to be a doorstop. It could be anything you want it to be. It could be a piece of wood in the woods. You could fashion it out here. You know, if you carry all the right stuff in your kit, like the gaffer tape and the cable ties, which I do. If you carry those things, then you shouldn't have no problem making this. So let's crack on and do a couple of things with it. Right guys, so one of the first things we're going to have to face up to when we're looking at using this in a survival situation, obviously because you're taking it from your survival kit, so it must be a pretty bad situation if this is all you got. And by that time I'm presuming you're bollock naked with nothing, because otherwise you'd have your knife blade strapped to your hip. But anyway, for the scenario, let's just say you don't, right? And this is all you got. Now you've got to face up the facts that you're not going to be able to process shit with this. Realistically, you're not processing no wood, you're not going to chop down no trees with it. Right, well, some people will put it to the test, but you will never get anywhere with this. So, what can this do realistically? It's got a nice little curvature on the top. That drop point allows it to be your finger to go on top, and allows it to be a really good skinner. So once you caught animals in the wild and you caught in your traps and that, which obviously you'd have inside your survival kit, then you could easily skin with this. Be quite a nice blade actually, I think, to skin with. Because it's not massive, it's not unwieldy. The whole thing sits in my hand very nicely with my finger perched over the top, and I'd be able to get in there and make the cuts. I think this would be more than adequate. I think it'd do actually a really good job, because it is razor sharp, you know, these things are. But what would it be able to do for you? Now, I'm pretty sure, so we'll go. Obviously you don't want to go too mad, because obviously the blade will come out, you know. This is like the complete opposite of a full-time blade. Strips bark really good, as you can see here. I'll just put it down and feel. Stripping the bark really well. So I'm not going mad, it's going really gentle. You're going to try, when you've got this sort of thing, you're going to try to avoid knots. You're going to try to avoid anything that's going to take, like, cause you to have put any more pressure on it, because obviously the blade could snap, the blade could go through your fingers. There's loads of things that could go wrong. So you want to go really gentle with this when you're using this. This wood is quite hard, so I shouldn't have probably chose this, but there we go. So we can tell it strips the bark really well. Just try and get quite hard with this, not on being on the ground. Really thin. Normally, how I tend to do feather sticks and for starting fires and stuff is I find the bevel and I get used to the bevel, you know, because normally all the knives I use, the bevels are quite big, so I'm used to it. I never had to use a micro bevel like this. So I'm creating the shavings, but they're all falling off. So in a survival situation, it would work, because you can obviously pick all the shavings off the floor and you still set a fire. You still light a fire, but they're not staying on there, as you can see. It's just because it's really sharp, but it's so slim, the blade's so small. It's getting used to that grind. They don't even look like feathers, but I just find it quite hard with this thing. It's quite obviously it's not built for it, you know. It's not these things were never made to do feather sticks. Got a weird grind on it because it's so thin, and the blade's extremely flexible. It's quite a weird one to do it with. But as you can see, they've got tiny little pieces of shavings and offcuts, and that is basically what feather sticks is. You know, obviously you can make it look as curly and as pretty as you like, but at the end of the day, all you need in what you're using feather sticks for is to start a fire. And how they start a fire is making a small surface area, a smaller surface area upon the stick. So these are small, and they've got a small surface area. There's tiny little shavings, so it would start a fire. Right, it doesn't look the prettiest in the world, but they'll do the job. You know, as you can tell, it's doing an okay job of getting these nice little shavings off. Right, let's talk about notches. So if you were in a small situation, we'd be able to trap with this thing. Now this, instantly, where I normally push with the back of my blade in to get that kind of notch, you can't do it with this. This is like, the blade's moving already, but it's so tight. Starting to work on this notch, guys, just to see if you'll be able to notch to trap and stuff. I think you'll be able to do lots and lots of different things with it. It's just everything will take you that much longer, you know, because obviously your blade is like an inch long and not very thick, not very long, not very wide. Everything will take that much longer, but obviously in your survival tins, it's your last ditch attempt at surviving. So you can tell I'm kind of notching this out and making a small notch at the moment. Right, if you can tell there, I've started to make a small notch. It's just everything takes, like I said, that much longer, but it is doable. So after time, whilst I'm sat there fucking around with it, I'd be able to do it, and the blade's still intact. I'd be able to make a notch eventually, and also make a trap. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, guys, I think these are really a good idea. They're good in the idea of it's good, but the actual, when you put it into practice, I think it comes down to it. It's going to take a lot of skill to survive with this, you know, because obviously it's really small. You won't be able to do all your big processing like with your knife. But at the end of the day, guys, you shouldn't have to do that. You know, when you're trying to process wood, don't cut it down. Just drag it into the fire, and when it burns, drag a little bit more in. You know. As you can see, it can do the smaller tasks. It can take little chunks off, which I could collect. I'll show you down on the floor, so you'd believe me. There's loads on the floor. I don't know if the camera can pick this up because the tripod's bloody in the way, but there is loads on the floor, so you would be able to pick those up and use those in a small little bundle to start a fire, you know. But no, these are good. I think it would be sufficient. I think you could do it. You could survive one of these if your skills are good enough. You know, obviously, because it's so small, you're making it from the get-go. You're making it hard, so your skills have got to be up to scratch where you can use this and not have to process all the big stuff and be able to use such a small blade. But for skinning, I think that's the best thing. It'd be best at. It can do the small carving work, and it can also do feather sticks. Well, not feather sticks, you know, they're all curly and however everybody likes to see them, but it will do some form of them, and it will they will be sufficient to light a fire. I am very sure of that. But yeah, guys, so that's all I've got to say about these, really. Just I've seen a lot of kits, so I just want to put my 2 pennies worth in and see what you guys thought of the blades. Please tell me what you think down beneath, guys. Like I said, these are in so many kits. It's unbelievable nowadays. I would definitely prefer a kit with a utility blade in it, rather than a fixed blade or a folding knife, just because I know that this steel is a lot better, and will hold an edge for a fucking lot longer than any folding knife or fixed blade you get in a survival tin, you know, or a survival kit. Just because they're going to be cheap, they're going to be garbage, they're still like just dog shit. These are good, you know. I use these every day at work, and I know how long the blade holds up, but I know what sort of shit you can put it through, so I use it every day at work. A utility blade at work, so I know the sort of shit you can put these through. As do a lot of you, I bet. But yeah, guys, don't be afraid to slam all your comments and all your thoughts down beneath in the crotch box. Also, guys, if you've got a spare 5 minutes and you want to spare them with me, please go in the description and check out my link for Facebook, and that's where you can find the Bristol Prepper Facebook page. Like that, and there's loads of cool pictures to go up there, loads of extra stuff and extra content on there. But like I said, that's all I've got time for today, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe to this video. Otherwise, as always, stay prepared, and I'll catch you guys another day, another way.